Okay, what's up, y'all? This is Chamblizy of YouTube.com. I just wanted to give you some tips on how to bleed your convertible top. Now, if you have a rare car like mine, hold on. I don't want to hear that. Okay, I don't own the rights to this music, so I turned it down. I'm in the back of my car right now, so YouTube, don't come messing with me. So here's the thing. If you want to bleed your convertible top, as you can see right here, my M30, this INFINITI M30 1992, there's a couple things that you should note here. If you're trying to bleed your top, don't use buttons to bleed your top. What you want to do is drop your top all the way down to the bottom. If your top's like mine, well, your motor at least has a valve. See how this valve is angled right now? If your valve is sitting in like this, you want to turn it straight. You want to have your valve sitting like this. That's going to take all the air out the system. So what you want to do, this is too disruptive. I don't want to hear that. A little bit of blue face. Anyway, what you want to do here is, if you're bleeding your top, is remove the nut that is right here. Hold on, somebody's messing with me. Okay. What you want to do is bleed. When you do this, you want to take this cap off. There's this little silver cap right there. You take that little silver cap off, fill it up to the correct level. There's a level on the side. And with your top all the way down, you want to add your fluid inside of here. Mind you, this is the M30. I don't know if anybody else has got this little valve on top. You want to have it facing straight. Right now, I've already done my top. So what you want to do is take that little nut off, add your fluid to it, make sure it's only to the fill mark. Then pull your top up by hand. Once you start to see it bubble a little bit, let go of your top and add some more fluid to it, to this little container back here. And then you're going to want to run it back down and then bring it back up again until you hit some more air, and keep check on your fluid level. After you keep check on all your fluid level, wait till your top gets all the way up to the top, then you run it back down, run it all the way back up. Once you start seeing bubbles, stop again, add some more fluid again, and pretty much it's as simple as that. I didn't really show anything in the technique, but as far as the M30 goes, once you're done bleeding your top, what you're going to do, you want to go to this valve and turn it back this way. So let's give them a little example here of the top dropping. I got brachial plexus, so I can't do much here. So let's angle up at the top. Boom. Down goes the top. No air in the system. So, as I was saying, I'm going to make sure everybody gets this and gets this straight when you're dealing with an M30 here. In the M30, you got to take your back seat off. There's 4 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, which can only be accessed from the trunk. When you go into your trunk, take the 4 bolts off. Mine was, I think it was a 13 millimeter to be exact. You want to, after you do all that, you pop your seat out, which I've got back here, both my seats. Bottom and top. You're going to go to this nut, this one nut right here, take this cap off. If you don't have a funnel or anything like that, there's a specific thing that you can do here. So I run transmission fluid in mine, a little transmission fluid. I've concocted this little rig, so what you want to do is, see how you got hydraulic lines? I keep extra hydraulic lines in case the line may burst or something like that, or wear out. So right here, I've actually got goop on this. I put a little small, very small tip screwdriver, pop the top in it, and ran this hose into it, run it down all the way to the bottom. And you can basically use it as a squeeze bottle. Squeeze the bottle until it gets to the level. If you get like a little bit too much air inside your bottle itself, what you can do is pull it up out the little hole, Pull it up out the hole, let the air go back into the container, and then you go back to squeezing it again. Mind you, always fill it at this fill level. This is the fill level on mine. Mine's just a little bit below the fill level, just a little bit. But within these general two mark regions right here, if you can see this, these 2 mark regions will tell you how to fill your top. So when you go into here, pull that cap off, fill it up, pull it up by hand. Till you see some air bubbles in your lines, that should tell you that you need to refill it again. Refill it back up again, and then keep going. Back and forth, back and forth. Do not use the buttons to drain this system. After all that's done, your top should go up and down perfectly fine. So we're putting the top up button. Notice the speed of the top. Quick. Bam. That's quicker than my top has ever been in its life. Okay. So one more time. Once again, I'm going to show you what to do. So you know. If you have an M30 Infinity, take this cap off. I know it seems like I'm running over the same thing, but I want to make sure that you got it so you don't have to stop this video time and time again. Take that cap off. Get your can, transmission fluid, whatever, how you're going to fill this. Put the hose in there, squeeze it until it comes to that fill level mark. Come to the fill level mark. With your top down from the beginning start, begin to pull your top back. If it bubbles, stop, fill it up some more. Then run it back down and then run it back up. Same process you repeat until you get all the way to the front end. And then after you're done with all that bleeding, you want to take and run your top back down by hand to make sure there's no air bubbles in it. After you're done with all the bleeding of the air bubbles, you want to turn this valve back this way. So I'm making sure everybody's got this. A lot of people don't know about the M30 because the M30 was the first Infiniti, one of the first Infinitis to hit the market showroom floor when Infiniti first started making cars. Okay, so I'm just making sure everybody's got everything that they need to know here. My problem is when I first started doing this, I did it wrong. I went through multiple different steps, so I just decided finally, hey, instead of getting in the trunk, pull the back seat off. I pulled the back seat off, and it's entirely much more easier than going through the back of the trunk under the bag. Now, here, this summer, I'm going to be doing a video on showing the replacement of the top. I'm going to do that myself. Now, I can note that my top that I got on here, somebody cut it when I got it. I ended up having to do all this little plastic back window junk right here. I'm not worried about that right now. It doesn't leak. But yeah, as far as the process of replacing the top, we're going to run you through replacing the top. Now, my thing is working front to back. I'd rather the window is on its own separate piece. Since the window is on its own separate piece, the window will have to be installed separately from the top. But once I start getting past this window, the window setup, I'm going to run and start from the front of the vehicle and go back. That way it'll be a perfectly tight top. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.